Hey guys, Helen Hartsmith here again from the Heart of the Witch's Path YouTube channel. I hope you're having a good day. We're having wonderful Indian summer weather here in the Mitten. So I'm actually torn between wanting the warm weather to continue and being absolutely ready for fall. So, that's what these transitional seasons are all about, right? Yes. So it's a lovely time here in the Mitten. I'm here today to do a book review. I'm kind of enjoying this recording in the car situation too. So, it gives me a little alone time, to like decompress or whatever. I actually am just getting home from work. So this is kind of a fantastic, time for me to kind of just wind down from the day and be home, kind of a thing. So yes, book review today. I've really been looking forward to sharing this book with you. So the book review we're going to be talking about today is Inner Practices for the 12 Nights of Yuletide by Anne Stallkemp and Werner Hartung. So for a few years, I have been wanting to get some kind of information and broaden my celebration or observation of the Yuletide season. And so when I saw this book, I thought that it would be a good read to maybe kind of start off some learning and seeing where those studies left. So this book is pretty new. It has a 2021 publication date, and this is a little thin guy. This is only 140 pages. It was a quick read. It was very interesting. So I have to start off by saying that this is definitely a study in personal gnosis for Anne and Werner. This is a system that they have developed for their personal practice, and that's what this is a product of, what their personal practice is. And I have to say that overall, can you hear that train? Hopefully that doesn't last for long. I'm sorry. So personal practice, personal gnosis, it doesn't appear to be steeped in any kind of anthropological or any surviving material from any ancient civilization or anything like that. But I have to say that I found the read to be incredibly compelling and inspiring, and I'm going to try this observation as they've kind of put forth in the book. So there has been some discussion as to what is the actual 12 days of Yule. We're all familiar with the song The 12 Days of Christmas and things like that, and I believe that is from ancient practices, but what those practices were, I'm not sure. There might be information out there. So this is just kind of like me beginning this journey. So if someone has some good resources that they could recommend, I would definitely be into taking down those titles so that I could read them myself. But I honestly think that what they've done here is a great launching point if you're wanting to kind of spread out those observations. I think the thing that was most compelling about the book was in the beginning they talked about how time is how time works and how we have seasons in our lives and in our year and things of that nature, and how that time period at the end of the year is like a little stasis time. It's a little chunk of time where you're in between things. You know, we're at the coming to the end of one year and waiting for the next one to begin. And so the practice that they've outlined is very much a reflective one in nature. And so that just kind of clicked in my brain and it made sense to me. You know, it just, you know, that whole end of year liminal space kind of thing, the doorway into the next year, it very much rang true to me. So let's see, the 12 days as they've established it, as Anne and Werner have established, it starts with a night and goes into the next day. So as I said, it's a time of reflection. It's a time of looking back onto what your previous year consisted of and food for thought for the next year as well. So it starts on December 21st/22nd. So when most of us actually observe Yule is on, you know, the 21st, 22nd, on that solstice day. So that's when their 12 days start, and then it ends on January 1st/2nd. And, you know, that just kind of, as I said, it clicked to me. It kind of reminded me of when I was a kid and got time off for the holiday between semesters and such. It's that time period. And so they've broken each of these 12 days into a theme. And there's a handy dandy little table that appears in the book that I thought was helpful, and I totally photocopied it with the intention of adding it into my Book of Light so that I can use it this year. So they start off, I won't go through every single one, but I'll just kind of highlight some of the themes. They establish a theme for that particular day. So the first day is time quality. Then another day is peace. Another day is tranquility, taking care of yourself, new life, inventive creativity. So those are just a few themes for each of the 12 days. And what they're encouraging you to do, each day is linked with a month, 12 days, 12 months. So you're using this as a look back. So on that first day of December, the evening of December 21st into the day on the 22nd, you're encouraged to look back at January of the year that we're finishing up, and what was that like for you? What kind of time quality did you have in January? And you might not remember or know, but for those that actually journal and things like that, you might have resources that you could go back and say, oh, you know, I did this or I did that. And so it makes you kind of think about that theme going into the next year. So again, I thought that was just like brilliant thinking there. So I want to get into how each of the chapters are set up. Let me get to one of them. So I'll just start with that first night. Our sense of time, sense of quality of time. That's the theme. And we're looking at January. So each chapter, there's a mosquito tracking me or something. So each chapter is set up. Go away. Thank you. Bye-bye. let's see. There's a bit of talking as to what the theme is about and what your reflections should be like. But there's a practices for that first night of Yuletide. And here's where, like, if you're a journaler, and even if you're not, I think that looking back and just kind of thinking about it and that reflective has value. But there's a list of questions that go for each day. Things like, what were my experiences during the New Year celebrations? How did I start the new year? What good things happened? Some of these questions will repeat from month to month, and you might not have an answer for all of them, but it's kind of, it's making you think, making you reflect. So that's the gist. So I like that. So I'm going to be trying that. There's a section on reflecting for the theme of the day. It kind of gets into maybe some chakra work, different things like that. There is, I'm trying to get to what I know is in here. There's a meditation for each day, and they encourage you to like record these so that you can listen back and actually have that mystic experience of the meditation. And they're very simple. They're very easy meditations. And honestly, some of these like really rung true for me as something to do not just for that day, but maybe for other times in your life. Because if we're talking about the quality of time, you should be conscious of that theme, not just in the month of January or not just on that particular day, but maybe other times throughout the year. So you could find these meditations, I feel, helpful at different times too, and not just that particular day. So that's kind of like how each of the chapters are set up. There might be a different kind of exercise to think about for that particular day. But for the most part, that's how each of the chapters are set up. And they're, like I said, it's a quick read, so you can review. Part of your reflection for the day might be to review the chapter for that particular day, look at those questions, think about the theme, think about what that means to you in your life, and go forward with it. So I enjoyed this book a great deal, and I felt like it came to me at a time when I was wishing for this subject matter to be covered. So I feel like it was a very serendipitous time for it to come onto my radar, so to speak. I was at the bookstore scanning the shelves, as I often do in the metaphysical section, and this stood out. So there's even some really neat little bits of poetry written by Werner. There's also quotes throughout that are applicable to each of the days. And so it's just kind of a nice little hidden gem that I'm going to be keeping in my lineup. And maybe as I come up with some other resources and can add to the practice of observing the 12 days, then that will happen. But I think this is a really good starting off point. Let's talk brooms. I'm I'm very hesitant to give a 5 broom away because I want something to like really knock me out in order to give me a 5 broom review. This is very good and very well worth the read. So I'm going to give this a 4. It didn't like alter things just yet, but who knows, maybe after I actually go through it this December into January, maybe I'll have a different thought. But for right now, 4 broom review, and very much worth the price of reading, so to speak. So I will put a link in the description box for purchasing this book. And of course, as always, I encourage you to purchase from any local stores that you might have in your area that you shop from. It's from a smaller publishing company, Inner Dancer. I don't think I've purchased anything from Inner Dancer, but something like this, there's not a lot of filler in here, and that's what I appreciated. So if they do more books like this with not a lot of filler, 140 pages, that's a good read. Like, all of the information was solid, and it was a $15 book. I don't have a problem paying $15 for a book where all the information was solid. Don't give me filler. Don't give me 101 filler. That's what I'm looking for. So yes, 4 solid brooms. I hope you check it out. Very much worth it. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it or learned something from it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you get messages when I upload new videos. I've been working on an interesting video that will hopefully be coming up after this one. I'm just trying to give it all my brain power, if you know what I mean. So look forward to that. If you've read this book, let me know, and let me know your thoughts. If you have any other reading material for the 12 days of Yule celebrational information, I would be very interested in getting that and reading on that. And yeah, that's it. So once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking the time to walk the path for a little while with me. Until next time, blessed be.